This is Necesse, a top-down survival sandbox game where you explore, gather resources, build your base, and face powerful bosses across the world. With the game finally reaching version 1.0, we no longer travel between separate islands. Instead, we explore one seamless connected world. So grab a snack and let's begin. So in the beginning, we spawned at the forest, and immediately I started doing what the tutorial wanted me to do, like first cutting down some trees and then crafting some torches. Afterwards, I talked to the elder that owned this little house right here, which is also my house now. And after talking to the elder and completing a quest, I continued gathering more wood so I can craft myself a workbench. Doing so, I can now craft a couple of new things like a wooden tool and some wooden weapons. But before I continued with gathering wood to craft the wooden tools, I entered the mine just out of curiosity. I'm not really sure if it is very lucky of me to stumble upon a sapphire vein area. But hey, I got some free sapphires just by going down the mine. I think it's pretty lucky. For now, I continued my exploration down here because the tutorial wanted me to gather some ores. And also, I had my first ever combat with the zombies. They're not really that hard to deal with since our sword knocks them back so they can't get near us. I also encountered zombies with pumpkin masks. I'm thinking this might be an event for Halloween since it's October. Also, there's like this treasure chest just nearby, but I was dying because of a trap that I stepped on. The best way to deal with this was mining down the pressure plate, and now I can grab the things inside the chest. And I got myself a tenacious noble horseshoe. After that, I just decided to continue mining down here, and once I feel like my pockets are filled, I will go back up. After my mining trip was done, I then headed back up and grabbed a couple of items from the chest the old man had. It had something called a settlement flag, which I can now place down near this area to call this my settlement. And after placing down my flag, I then talked to the old man again, and he wanted me to kill something called an evil's protector. I can only do this by summoning him at night using a mysterious portal. Anyways, after that was done, I crafted a couple of stations that I can use in my base, like a furnace, an anvil, an alchemy station, and other useful stuff like some cooking pot and campfire. I also smelted most of the ores that I had, gold and iron. For now, I decided to craft myself an iron axe as I needed a lot of wood. And I went ahead and massacred a couple of trees around the house. Also, the old man's chest contained something called a local village map, which showed me the location of a nearby village, and also a dungeon map, which showed me the location of the dungeon. So my plan for now was to explore the forest and find some chests. I'm hoping to find a couple of accessories inside these chests and get powerful. And looky, I found myself a handgun with a couple of bullets. Also, a mysterious portal that we can summon the boss, but I'm not really geared up properly yet, so we're not fighting the boss yet. I also crafted myself a wooden bow, and it's pretty useful using it to hunt like the animals, but sometimes the projectile speed is very slow that I have a handgun that I can use for faster bullet travel. Anyways, I killed a couple of animals nearby for their meat and leather. And during nighttime, zombies spawn, so I usually just go home on this time and sleep so that I don't encounter these zombies. It's not like they drop anything valuable, so it's better to just sleep off the night to remove these annoying guys. I also have this little section in the elder's house that has this farming area. I plant some seeds that I get from my adventures to stockpile on some plants that I can use to make potions or maybe cook. Food in this game gives various buffs. The better the food, the better the buffs. So it's always nice to stockpile on ingredients so we can cook like the best food available. Right now I can only barbecue them since it's the only capabilities of my roasting station at the moment. But eventually we will improve the quality of our food, giving us better buffs. Anyways, as I continued my adventure, I was pretty amazed that I already reached the swamp area. It was pretty close from where my base was. Still, I don't plan to adventure there as the enemies in the swamp I think are very dangerous. I mostly just stick to the forest biome so I prevent myself from dying and look for a lot of chests for the lovely loots. There was also a snow area that I found while adventuring, so yeah, we're not going there yet. Let me just fully explore the forest first, and then we can go there once we're geared up. And upon going home, I have now collected a couple of items that I can use to craft myself some accessories. So I focus mostly on movement speed accessories or anything that benefits my style of gameplay, which would be using melee weapon or a range weapon. And after crafting some stuff to improve my gear, I then continued with my exploration. I was very curious what this new seamless world had to offer. I stumbled upon this place that had like 2 alchemists on them, and these alchemists sell a couple of buff potions. They are pretty useful, or very useful, but I don't really have that much gold right now, so I just purchased some health potions for now. I of course went inside and looted a couple of their chests. They don't seem angry about it, so I just continued with my thievery. I also killed a couple of cows whenever I see them, and also sheep because I really need their leather and also their beef and mutons. And honestly, I'm liking the gun. The speed of the bullet is so fast compared to the arrows. And as I resumed my adventure, I found a village. And so I continued my bad deeds of looting most of their items inside their chests because I'm pretty poor and I think this is a shortcut to getting a lot of items. I'm just glad they're not angry about it and attack me for doing so. You can say I'm just being resourceful by looting their stuff. Also, one important thing in villages is they have an NPC called a pawnbroker, and you can sell things you don't really need for money. So I just sold a couple of stuff I don't need because I need a lot of money at the moment. So if ever a merchant visits my village, I can buy their wares. One of the villagers here is an animal keeper, and he sold something called an inefficient feather. And using the feather, I can summon myself a mount that moves faster than me. So this ostrich is gonna be useful for traveling. I then found this katana in a rock. So I immediately started mining on it. Hopefully I can get it, and I did. And wow, look at the damage on this thing, 46. Way higher than the current weapon that I have. And this thing also has a special ability that can dash. And it gets faster the more I use it with a maximum of 10 charges. It's very awesome and feels so good to use. I also found an area where there was this broken, or not really broken, but old fountain. So I just grabbed it so I can put it on my base. Another thing I found while exploring was this gun here called a sapphire revolver. Way higher damage than the current weapon that I have. But the only problem with this is you have to charge it before it can fire. So I'm not really sure if the DPS is higher than the revolver that I had. I also stole a cooking station from one of the houses that I found. This thing is gonna be very useful. And because of all the massacres of the cows and sheep I did recently, I can now craft myself a bunch of new equipment. I also crafted myself a full leather armor set. Anyways, I decided I had enough of the surface and it's time to explore the cave once more. And oh my god, the katana's power is so strong. I easily kill zombies inside the cave with this. It's so easy to kill them all with this. I can also chase down those cavelings that bring like gold ores or other special items that they bring. The katana is just amazing. My goal for this exploration would be to harvest a lot of ores, especially iron and gold, so I can improve my tools and as well as my armor. Aside from that, I'm also looking for accessories so that I can get stronger with its effects. The next day, a blacksmith wanted to join my settlement for 336 gold. I don't know why they always ask for money if they want to stay here, but sure, I need a blacksmith in this base anyways. So I built this guy a little small house just beside the elder's house. This will be his home now. I then started chopping some wood just near my base. I'm planning to make an arena of some sort, just an open space so I can try fighting the evil's protector using some mysterious portals that I have already obtained. I felt strong enough already because of my katana that I may be able to defeat it, hence I'm making the arena. And once I felt like the arena was complete, I then summoned it. So this thing has the ability to summon portals where demons can come out from it. So these little guys I'm slashing right now. It also fires fireballs. That probably hurts if it hits me, of course, in the face. But I can dodge it pretty easily. And once it reaches a certain point of its HP, it will fly and rain down fires from above and will land and damage you with a giant slam once it's done. Man, the katana is awesome. After reaching less than half of its HP, it starts throwing fireballs around it. Very easy to dodge as well, so no problem at all. It was so close, but I still died. Dang it. On round 2, I crafted myself an iron helmet and a gold armor. This should surely improve my defenses, and finally I have defeated it. And I got myself a couple of new items. One of them is a reward from the Elder, a lunchbox. I can store a lot of food inside. I got this item called a demon cloak that increased the amount of item sets I can have by 2. Now I can wear 2 different sets if I want. I got an accessory called the Force of Wind, which enables me to dash, which is pretty useful in dodging like boss attacks. And then the demon heart that permanently increases my health by 50. After that fight, I continued looking for other accessories I haven't gotten yet on the surface. I then saw a polar bear, so I decided to try and fight it. But oh my god, look at the amount of HP this thing has. Good thing we had our katana, we could just dash to it back and forth and it wouldn't be able to get to us. Aside from that, I also had my gun, so if ever I want to like fight it on range, I can just run away and shoot it. And after defeating the polar bear, I got an item called a polar claw, which slows the target I hit. It's a pretty good item for a melee character or a ranged character. After my little adventure, I then went home and fought the evil's protector again. He still has a lot of items I haven't gained yet, so I will keep killing this guy until I get everything he has. Ultimately, my goal was to craft this thing called a balance foci that gives like 15% damage overall. Aside from that, with the demonic bar I have obtained from killing the boss, I can now make a new type of armor set called the demonic armor set. This thing has a special effect that whenever I press V on my keyboard, it will give me a small buff of speed and attack. It does consume a little amount of HP though, but it's fine. As for my next goal, I need to defeat the Queen Spider. That's my current quest with the Elder right now, and it's time to venture on the mines to look for the Queen. In one of the chests I found underground, there was this summoning item to have like a companion that follows you around. Now look at my cute bear. Aside from following me around, it does absolutely nothing. And when I returned to the surface, I then had a prompt that raiders are preparing to attack the forest. So before they approach the village and injure the elder or my blacksmith, I then went to where they were spawning and started attacking them. And they were no match for the might of my katana. I easily took care of all of them. Afterwards, it was back to the mine to look for the Spider Queen. I also did a little oopsies where I activated a TNT and I died by mistake. This was a horrible death. As I went back to the cave, I then discovered this area. It's called a plains area and it's filled with these... I don't know how to label them. Prehistoric people that has the power of runes. Because they're like a giant runestone in the middle that I can mine, and I got a couple of runestones. And since I couldn't really find any signs of the Spider Queen at the forest cave, I decided to venture at an area that was full of snow, or basically the snow cave. And there are so many zombies here. Like, the amount of zombies here are crazy. They're mostly encased in ice, and when you wake up one, the whole batch wakes up and tries to kill you. But thankfully, we have our katana to like slash everything very easily. So they pose no problem at all since we do so much damage anyways. Still, it just surprised me that the amount of zombies here were so many. I then stumbled upon this place where there was a stair, and it seems this place was like a treasury of some sort. But I had to go through all these trials in order to reach the treasure. So I just patiently did this to my best of ability so that I don't accidentally die. I also had a trick with my katana where I can just dash forward. Because dashing with a katana makes you invulnerable to any damage, so this thing is really powerful against traps. Eventually reached the treasure room and got a couple of new accessories and other items. And after searching some more for some spider eggs, I then found an arena of some sort where there were monsters just waiting to be released so I can fight them. I felt pretty brave, so I tried it out. Because I had the summoning item I got from a random chest. So now it's time to face this. The first stage is fighting off the random monsters that spawn from the portals of these green looking circle things. And after defeating them, the chief at the center then jumps and enters the fight. So this is the rune bound chieftain. And this guy is pretty strong. In the end, I ended up dying to this guy because my items wasn't strong enough to defend against his attacks, and my attack wasn't strong enough to actually dealt damage. I then went back to retrieve all the items I lost before continuing again to look for the spider egg. I actually gave up and just summoned the spider boss using an egg on my inventory. And it's now time to face the Spider Queen. I should have made like an arena first because it was so hard to actually move around since there was so many enclosed spaces. I could have used some bombs that I have obtained from chests and like opened a way for me to fight openly rather than being trapped like this. But I did manage with the path that I have already created before summoning this guy. And I resorted in using some ice javelins that I have looted from the zombies here at the ice cave because my katana wasn't doing really well because each time I slide, I kind of land on the... If you see the red things on the floor, they are like poisonous to touch. So whenever I land there, I take so much damage. So range attack is better against this guy. Honestly, this fight took a while and I almost died fighting the spider. but I eventually won and have defeated it, which made me very happy. As for the item that I got, it was a pretty shitty melee item that I don't even plan on using, but I did get the spider heart, which increases my HP by another 50. And upon getting home, I then upgraded my armor set to a rune armor set and mixed with some frost armor set because I did not have enough rune items to make the entire set, so the helmet works for now and it looks pretty cool. The quest I had from the Elder was to kill the Void Wizard, but I decided to explore the plains biomes first because I wanted to get more runestone so I can craft the entire armor set. And thinking back about it after playing the game, I think I should have went for the wizard first because the chieftain at the plains is way stronger than the Void Wizard. Well, I continued my grind and now I had a full rune armor set. With my new armor, I then continued killing a bunch of queen spiders to get the loots I haven't gotten yet. Afterwards, I explored the surface and stumbled upon a pirate village. But these pirates were so strong that I had to run away after my katana has run out of its charges. It has a 10-second cooldown if I did not mention it. I can't deal with the amount of damage the pirates do, so I had to run away. But I do plan coming back and just looting the chest and then run away again. So that's what I did. Just looting all the chests that they had after killing a bunch of the henchmen. But well, you could say I got a pretty cocky and tried fighting the pirate captain, which ended up really bad. It resulted to my death after a few mistakes where I could not dodge the pirate captain at all. I should have fought it in a more open space where I could freely dash with my katana. I would have survived. The next day I tried again, but this time I opened up a space and also led the captain towards the sea so I can freely dash in the open water without anything hindering me except for the rocks, but it's not really that much of a problem. The katana's invulnerability is so good that I can easily fight the captain. Also, I'm wearing something like a fin. This enables me to double the swim speed that I have, so I have an easier time dodging this pirate captain. And using a pistol, I initiated like a range fight with this guy. I think range attacks does much better towards bosses than like trying to get in their face using my melee weapon. So each time I fight a boss, I'd rather go range now. This kinda took a while, but we have defeated the pirate captain. Let's go. And I got a deep lather. I actually skipped like a few bosses. I think I shouldn't have fought this captain yet because I got an item that increased my trinket slot by 2 by defeating this guy. I also had like a deep cave ladder, so now we can access the deep caves, but it's too early for that. We're still very weak. Anyways, now that I have defeated the pirate captain, I continued plundering the place, looting everything they had. Totally forgot to mention, but the miner has joined me for quite a while now, and I had him hunt for some tungsten ores. I'm not really sure why I could send him out to gather some tungsten ore. It's a pretty late game item, but I needed it in order to upgrade both my workstation and my anvil, so I had him collect some. Afterwards, it was finally time to have our revenge match with the Rune Chieftain. It's time to destroy all his minions first, and then we fight him. I can tell that my katana is slowly getting weaker and weaker as the enemies get stronger, so we'll need to change our melee weapon soon. But my gun right now that I got from the pirates is doing really well, so this will be my main weapon to deal with bosses. I easily took care of this rune-bound chieftain actually. The gun was so strong. And there it was, a new melee weapon we can use. A big axe. Also, we got a runic heart that increases our HP by 50 as well. So now we have a total of 250 HP. Oh, what the heck? This is cool. Okay, much better than the katana, but I like the katana though. I then continue defeating the rune-bound chieftain because there are still items I haven't gotten yet. For this one, I got a new ranged weapon called the Captor's Shortbow. This thing fires 3 arrows at once, which is pretty nice. And as I returned to base, I had yet another raid event. This time, mummies are gonna attack us. But once again, before they can do a good amount of damage to our village, I just went to them and like tried killing them off before they reached my village. And honestly, they were pretty strong, but with our ranged weapon, we can defeat them in a great distance. And I got myself a couple of good items, like quartz items. Quartz is not... I think quartz is pretty late game compared to where I'm at the moment. So this was gonna be a good upgrade to our tools. I also got this really huge sword, the quartz great sword. So I guess I say goodbye to my axe now and we have this new weapon to use. After the event, I then headed towards where the dungeon is. I should really follow the quest that the elder gives me so I properly do the progression for the game. Anyways, as I entered the dungeon, I was pretty dumbfounded how weak these guys are. I have already defeated much stronger enemies. So yeah, it was a mistake to really not follow the elder's quest. After looting everything the dungeon had to offer, it was now time to fight the Void Wizard. I dealt a really huge chunk of damage, but the wizard is the same. He can also deal a huge chunk of damage to me, so this wasn't an easy fight. Okay. Oh my god, there's so many Void Wizards. What's this? What's that? We kill the Void Wizard, we get the Void Pouch, whatever that is. The arrow's doing really well. What is that? What is that? What is that? What the hell is that? Oh no. Okay, you're dead, wizard. Nice. And then we returned home after defeating the wizard, and now we have a Void Pouch. For our next enemy, we'll need to kill the Swamp Guardian. And finally, the reward for defeating this Swamp Guardian is a Homestone and a Waystone. It is basically a way to teleport from one place to another. So now we have a way to instantly teleport to the last place we've been, or we can place the stones at the villages and we can instantly teleport to the villages. Also, the Void Pouch is awesome. We basically get 20 extra inventory slots if we store the items we get inside the Void Pouch. Another thing, I have upgraded both my workstation already and my anvil to tungsten, and now I can see new recipes for new items that I can make. One of the items I really wanted to make was the reinforced katana. We can now get our katana back in action because this thing has an increase in damage. But for now, I made myself a galvanic hammer that does a lot of lightning spread damage when I try to attack with it. Anyways, as for our next agenda, it will be to defeat the Swamp Guardian, so it's time to look for the summon item in the swamp. Also, of course, treasures for trinkets to improve our current wares. For the ores in the swamp, they are called Ivy Ore, and I plan to make a new armor set with this. And then I stumbled upon this church-like area, which was full of like purple fog, and the monsters inside were evil witches that I had to defeat. They were honestly really tanky, and they threw like potions on the ground that does poison damage or something. So I had to be really careful here or I might accidentally die. But I did, however, defeat all the witch and got all the witch armor set. But I don't really plan on being a summoner or a mage, so I don't plan on using this. Actually, never mind. The witch set has more armor than the current one I'm wearing right now, and the boots has a lot of movement speed, so I decided to wear it instead. But it did not last long since I now had some ivy bars to craft the ivy armor set. And after all the upgrades to my gears, it's finally time to fight the Swamp Guardian. It is a giant worm in the swamp. I tried making use of a necrotic flask that I got from the witches, and honestly, it dealt so much damage to the swamp guardian. I was very happy that I got this. But when I switched to my katana, the guardian stood no chance at all. Just look at its HP disappearing very fast while I just dash back and forth. And there we have defeated the swamp guardian. We also got the guardian heart, which increases our HP by 50. And since I discovered I can just use my katana, I easily took care of this guardian like very fast. Just look at this. Just a few seconds. It's already dead. Because we defeated the swamp guardian, we now had the waystone and the homestone. The waystone can be bought from the wizard for 500 gold each, so we will have a lot of stock with this as long as we have the gold. Regarding the waystone, there's a limit of 7 though, so we can only have 7 memorized spot where we can instantly teleport. Plan to register a couple of towns so that I can interact with the pawnbrokers and sell a bunch of stuff I don't need. Afterwards, I then went to another pirate village and defeated yet another pirate captain. I totally forgot to interact with the pirate captain that I have defeated before, so I'm gonna do it again. But my real purpose here was to steal a couple of its furniture so that I can sell it for money. I was just assuming that because the tables and chairs here were gold, they would sell for a lot, but that was actually a mistake. They don't really sell for a lot, but it's still a lot of money either way. The reason I need a lot of money was so that I can stockpile on some waypoints, as well as I have money to enchant my gears from the wizard. And after all that shenanigan was done, it's finally time to explore the desert and look for the area where we can summon the ancient vulture. But before I resume my adventure, I noticed that my settlers were very dissatisfied with my base because I just placed them in one room with a lot of beds, so they sleep with each other. So I decided to make them some houses for themselves so they have privacy and it would increase their happiness so they won't leave my settlement. It is just some basic houses with one bed each, and I hope they're happy with this. I plan to add a table and a chair. Hopefully it will increase their satisfaction with it. Most of the beds that I have were stolen from the dungeon. That's why it's mostly double beds right now. It costs wool to make beds, and wool is pretty scarce since I don't really see a lot of sheeps. So looting the beds are pretty nice. Anyways, I resume my adventure at the desert caves. I was looking for a lot of quartz so I can start upgrading my armor. And after collecting all the quartz I needed, I crafted the entire melee quartz armor set. And since I'm ready to face the boss, we have a new armor set, we have our reinforced katana, and we have a good ranged weapon. It was now time to set up the arena where we'll fight the boss in the desert, which would be the ancient vulture. And once the arena was done, the only thing left to do now was summon the ancient vulture. Katana's too good. Nice. And since there were still a couple of items left, I continued fighting the vulture. The bow it dropped was honestly pretty good since it was a piercing arrow, so we can deal with mobs with this bow. But still, the katana is just more powerful than any ranged weapon that I have at the moment. Anyways, for our next mission, we'll be needing to go to the forest deep caves. But before we resume our adventure, I decided to create a big farm plot because I needed a lot of these random vegetable seeds that I have to grow so I can use them as recipes for our new food buffs. Food buffs is really wonderful as they're like one of the best to get strong in the game. So that's why I prioritize doing this. The villagers will handle all the planting for us. We really just need to plant once and they will do it for us. And once I have settled with everything, it's finally time to explore the deep forest cave. And this place we can gather a couple of things called life quartz as well as tungsten. But again, I was lucky enough because the very first area I discovered while going to this deep cave was like a village full of monsters and there were a lot of chests here as well. So I gathered most of their tungsten workbench and anvil because I plan to like sell this to the pawn shop so I can get some money out of this. Afterwards is more on just grinding for some tungsten ore so I can upgrade my pickaxe and my armor and then fight the boss afterwards. I also stumbled upon these pretty unique sites where it's designed really well. It looks like a Japanese weaver or something with a paper lantern boats. There are also corals here. Just some random areas with these kinds of design. I'm not really sure how this works. There's like volcanoes surrounding this place, but it's still in a snow. I don't know how that's possible. Hey, it's a pretty fantasy-like magical world. Anyways, with that last trip, I now have completed my tungsten armor, so all I really need to do was enchant all of these and it's time to fight the boss. So once again, I bombed an entire area with dynamite so I can make an arena. Afterwards, I went home and made the best food that I can at the moment, which gives me the most buffs. And it's time to fight the boss, which is the Reaper. The katana's so good. One more. You're dead, fool. Nice. We got the Reaper's Call. And like the usual, I continued fighting the boss until I get all the drops that it has. It usually continuously drops something new each time, so you don't need to keep repeating it until it drops something you like. It just drops everything. Anyways, we have defeated the Reaper, so now we can finish up our quest. And as a reward, we got a hoverboard. It's gonna be useful in areas with poison or lava as we can just levitate in the air. And for our next target, it would be the Cryo Queen. And so I teleported to a nearby snow village so I can place down my deep ladder and start exploring the area. For the new ores here, it is glacial ores, but the armor set for glacial isn't really as big of an impact compared to our current tungsten armor set, so I don't plan on changing my armor set. I kinda like my current tungsten armor set. I still explored the place though, as I was pretty curious on what I can get here, like the accessories. So that's my main goal at the moment, so we can upgrade our accessories. Aside from accessories, I'm also looking for chests that would contain the summoning item for the boss, so that's also one of our goals. And once I was done grinding and got everything I wanted, it was now time to set up an arena. And now that I'm done, it's finally time to face the boss. The Cryo Queen. I have my Gatling homing weapon. You're no match. Haha! Homing bullets. You are no match. And with my resilience, you are already dead, Shinderu. Oh. Ouch. Ouch. Doesn't hurt. Hurts no. Easy clap. Ooh, Cryoglaive. Ooh. Okay, cool. And per usual, I continuously kill the Cryo Queen for the items I haven't gotten yet. You're dead. Cryo Spear. You're dead. Oh, we have the gun, the Cryo Blaster. Ooh, looks pretty strong. Oh, it is pretty strong. What the heck? Alright, so as for our next target, it would be the Cursed Crone. We'll need to locate the arena at the Deep Plains Cave before we can fight this. So yeah, more exploration is needed. But before I headed out, I decided to craft a new type of armor set called the Gunslinger Armor Set. This has a set effect which if I press a button, it will shoot 6 bullets around me towards the enemies. Oh wow, okay, cool. I didn't really last long with the armor as it had a cooldown of 60 seconds. I think I'd rather have my defense set so I could survive longer. So this is the Deep Plains and it is filled with these giant trees. There are also a lot of ghosts crawling around trying to kill me. But nonetheless, it is a very interesting area and I'm trying to look for most of the ores available here so I can try crafting a new armor set. The difference between my tungsten armor and this dryad armor set isn't really a lot, but I just want the visuals where I can see I'm wearing a new type of armor. So we'll need to collect a few more ambers and then we'll have the entire set. Also, I haven't really located where the arena is, so doing this isn't really much of a trouble since I'm trying to find an arena. And with all my efforts, I really couldn't find the arena, wherever the heck it is. But I just kept searching and searching around the area in hopes that I could find it. So I eventually had the idea of going to the arena at the Plains Cave. Totally forgot to make a ladder or grab a couple of wood so I can make a ladder out. So now I have to go back up. I did mark it on the map so I can easily go back and place down the deep ladder. And now, just looking at the place, I think I have found the arena. It is obviously shown at my minimap that there's a strange light around the surrounding. And so I dig towards the area which I saw was pretty interesting. And sure enough, we have found the arena. It's just below the current arena. So now we can start fighting this boss, the Cursed Crone. What does this even mean? Okay. What is this mechanic? Ouch, what the heck? I'm so tanky and strong. This guy is no match. Oh my god. I'm not having fun with this. I win. Nice. We beat him. We got a magic weapon called Soulstorm. Similar to the other bosses, I continued massacring this guy to get all his items. I got a new melee weapon, but it was kinda shit, so I did not use this. Oh, that's awesome. Ew, the damage sucks. What the hell? For our next goal, it'll be to defeat the Pest warden at the deep swamp. But before that, I need to gather a lot of mycelium ores. Those are the ores available at the deep swamp. And I want to make a range armor set with the mycelium. This armor set has an ability to give you 100% attack speed, but it consumes stamina. That'll surely boost our DPS by a lot, but I'm not really sure if it's gonna be good for the warden. So now that we've prepared, it's time to fight the warden. But I realized I don't really need the range weapon for this guy, as look, it's a giant worm which has like a lot of parts that I can deal damage with. A melee weapon instead. So the Cryo glaive, I believe, would be really strong against this guy. He only gets vulnerable if ever he charges like that, and I can deal significant amount of damage. And the Cryo glaive is really doing so much. Also, I'm using a shield right now because, you know, it's hard to dash when you're like entangled within the worm. But yeah, this is kind of a breeze to defeat since I just hold my shield to reduce the damage I take, and he can't really do anything to me. And I just keep attacking with my Cryo glaive. Unless that happens, of course. That was very close, honestly. And we have defeated the Pest warden. We got the warden hat. Another 50 HP to us. I tried the range approach using a shotgun, but I don't think it's that effective compared to my Cryo glaive. As the Cryo glaive penetrates all its parts, the shotgun is limited to the amount of bullet that is sprayed by it. Even with my attack speed buff, it still doesn't do a lot. I'm actually struggling here, so Cryoglaive is always the best approach for this guy. Anyways, I got a new sword by defeating this guy. It is a sword, when you swing, it shoots out like venomous blades. It's a pretty decent weapon, but I still believe that the Cryoglaive is better. But still though, this thing, it shoots out venom, so there's that. The reward I got from beating the quest is a portal flask. It has unlimited uses, and now I can just go back home and then continue where I left off after restocking my potions or storing the items that I have looted on my exploration. So what a valuable item this is. Anyways, for our next mission, I went to the desert and went into the deep desert cave. And right now, my goal is to collect some ancient fossil ores so I can craft a new armor set. And for our quest, we'll need to defeat the boss, which is Sage and Grit. The desert deep cave is actually a really nice place because there's this area where it's just a big path towards where the boss summoning area is. So we don't need to look for it hard. We just need to locate where this tunnel is and it will lead to the boss area. And that's what I did. After getting to the center of it all, I have found the altar where we can summon the boss. So all I need to do now was finish collecting the ancient fossil ores that I need and then fight the boss once I'm ready. For the armor set, I decided to go for a range-oriented armor set called the Sharpshooter set. And what this does is it has a passive where it will stack something called a bullseye, and then it will give a guaranteed crit whenever that stack is achieved. It only works for range weapons, but I enjoy using a melee weapon when I'm dealing with regular mobs. Anyways, it's time to fight the boss. Using my shotgun or my gun? Oh. Where's my shield? I have no idea what I'm doing. I feel like melee's the right choice, usually. Fire's so good, bro. I forgot to change my accessories. Oh my god. This. Okay, we're fine. Wait, one more? Nice. And with that, we have defeated the dragons. And yeah, a staircase opened up, and there will be another boss inside that we'll need to defeat. But before we fight that boss, it's time to grind and farm Grit and Sage, because there's still items I haven't gotten yet. Afterwards, I had to deal with a raid that was happening in my village. And thankfully, we have the new dualism bow dropped from the dragons, and it's honestly really good. Look at the penetration on this thing. After farming the dual dragons, I then headed into the staircase down and slowly explored the place, looking for where the boss area is. And yeah, I actually found it. As for the boss here, it is a fallen wizard. It has a pretty decent amount of HP, but my damage is pretty great. The only thing, or the only problem I have with this guy is that its magic spells are kinda fast and I had a hard time avoiding them. Oh my god. Oh my god. So strong. Ouch. Oh my god. Oh my god! I can hide behind... Oh. Fuck. Fuck. I gotta run away, man. Lord. Jesus. I had to run away in my first attempt as I was dying. But now it's round 2. This time I kind of know what he does. So we're gonna be fine. I just need to be smart about it. What is that? Oh, he summons dragons. Ah, freaking heck, that hurts. Ah. 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 No. 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 Oh, yes, thank God, thank God, thank God I healed. 1k more. Yes, you're dead, fool. Ah, thank God. Wow, okay. Nice. Increase the trinket slot. Now we have an extraction tablet. Item slot of 4. That's crazy. Altar dust. So the Fallen Wizard is the last boss, but not really, because after this we'll be doing something called an Incursion, where we'll be fighting stronger versions of the bosses that we have fought before, and there are also a variety of new bosses, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but that's how I remembered when I did the Incursions. Anyways, I crafted something called a Fallen Altar. This is where we can use the tablets, or the tablet that we got from the Fallen Wizard. This is how we begin an Incursion. And in an Incursion, there are perks that we can level up using some altar dust. And since I'm maining melee weapon and range weapon, I'll be leveling that up. There are so many tiers in this Incursion. We can go through it slowly, one by one. So for now, I just leveled up the one that has increased chance of getting like a ranged weapon and also the melee weapon. Afterwards, I inserted the only tablet I had in my inventory. It will be a tier 1 extraction zone at the Swamp Deep Cave, and will be rewarded with 2 tablets that we can also use for another Incursion. So it's time to try this thing out. So inside the Incursion, there are new types of ore called an alchemy shard and also an upgrade shard. And each of these Incursions have different missions, and currently my mission for this one is to collect a lot of mycelium ores, and once we reach 100%, we can then fight the boss. And because I've looted a couple of new ores like the upgrade and the alchemy shards, I can now upgrade my workstation, and I have 2 new stations that I can make, but I still need a couple of items like an essence in order to make an upgrade altar. I'll go into it further after we defeat our first Incursion boss. So now that I have completed my mission, all I need to do is activate the boss fight, and once it's activated, it's time to, well, fight. And for this one, it is the Pest warden. And since we already have a way to deal with this thing, just having a shield and our cryo glaive, we can easily destroy this. So using a similar strategy as what I did before, well, I kinda struggled because the Incursion bosses are stronger than the usual one, so we died. But I was more careful on the second time and I managed to beat it with a lot of HP still intact. Well, not really. We're almost like dead, but we won and got some rewards. So using the essence that I have recently looted, I have upgraded my anvil to the fallen anvil, and now I can craft a lot of new stuff. It's not really anything new, it's more like drops from the other deep dungeon parts. If ever we don't have the item, we can just craft it. The most important thing of getting the essence is the upgrade altar. So this thing right here is the upgrade altar, and we can basically upgrade all our previous weapons and armors and it will turn it into something really great. For now, I focus most of my upgrade shards towards my cryo glaive, as I really like this weapon and I would like to improve its damage, but then I realized I can actually strengthen my previous loved weapon, which was the katana. So I made a mistake of upgrading already the cryo glaive, so once I collect enough upgrade shards, I will try and make the katana. So more or less, the incursion is just something that you can keep doing to improve your character, to strengthen and make your weapons and armors more powerful. There's really nothing new, I believe, because I've been fighting the same monsters over and over again. I'm not entirely sure, okay, because I did not reach a high tier in my incursion. I think I only reached till like tier 30. So here's a pretty new map, and the monsters here are a lot of slimes, and there is a new type of ore I got here called slimium, I think. Was it? Yep, slimium. As for the boss here, we have the mother slime, I believe. Yeah, mother slime. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, what the hell? Nice. Alright, so this is where I end my video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and hope you enjoyed your stay here. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button. Bye now!